In this video I'll show you how to solve two-step equations, but in this case with a negative coefficient. Remember, if I for example have, let's say, 2x, now the x is your polynomial and the number in front is your coefficient. So in this case 2x would actually have a positive coefficient, but what we're going to focus on is if that coefficient isn't positive but if it's negative. So for example, minus 2x, what that means is minus 2 times x, right? So I'll show you how to work with those kind of questions that have a negative coefficient. Alright, but the rules are still the same, right? So we still want to make sure the aim of this whole thing is to have the numeral, so the letter, be by itself on either left hand or the right hand side. Still the same. How do we do it? We still try to find the opposite, the inverse of whatever we're trying to move. And making sure that we do it to both sides, right? So perform it on one and the other side. And the rules are still, we're going to move plus or minus first, and then times divided by last. Alright, let's have a look at the question. So this is what I mean. So we've got minus 2x plus 4 equals 14. As you can see, we want to get x by itself. Sorry. But at the moment, we have a coefficient of minus 2 in front. But the rules stipulate, or the rules tell us, that before we even worry about the minus 2, we're going to move the plus 4 first. Because remember, the rules were, down here, the rules were we're going to move plus and minus first before we move times divided by. Alright, so how to get x by itself? Plus 4 at the moment, so minus 2x plus 4 equals 14. We do minus 4 to both sides. And that cancels this out. We're left with what on the left hand side? We'll be left with just minus 2x equals, and what's 14 minus 10? And minus 4 is 10. Sorry about the cough. So minus 2x equals 10. Now remember, we had between the minus 2 and the x, we had a times. So how do we remove that times? We do the opposite, we do division. To both sides, we're going to divide by the number we're trying to move. We're not trying to move 2, we're trying to move minus 2. Sorry. So we're going to divide both sides by minus 2. Alright, so what's minus 2 divided by 2? Well, 2 divided by 2 is 1, that cancels out. And minus divided by minus is positive, so that cancels out too. So now we're left with just x on the left hand side. Now what is 10 minus 2? Well, a positive divided by negative is a negative, so x is equal to minus 5. And that's the answer, x is equal to minus 5. Now how about the next one? Well, we're still trying to get the x to be by itself, right? And the rules are still, we're going to move plus or minus before we move times divided by. So that whole coefficient, the minus negative 5, we're going to move that later, not in the beginning. We're going to first move the plus minus 3, right? So the minus 3 we move first. What's the opposite of minus 3? Well, that is plus 3. And we're going to do it to both sides as the rules stipulate. So minus 3 plus 3, that cancels out. And we're now at minus 13 plus 3. Now if we do minus 13 plus 3, we're here at minus 13 over here. And we're adding 1, 2, 3. So we've got plus 3. Well, where do we end up? We end up at minus 10, right? So minus 13 plus 3 is equal to minus 10. So after that first step, what we have left is minus 5x equals minus 10, right? And the rules were now, well, it's minus 5 times x. We're going to remove that minus 5 by doing the opposite, by doing division. So we're going to divide both sides by minus 5. And remember, minus 5 divided by minus 5, well, 5 divided by 5 is 1, and minus divided by minus is positive. And it's going to equal, so we're left with just x on the left hand side. And what is minus 10 divided by minus 5? Right, 10 divided by 5 is just 2. But remember, a negative divided by negative turns it into positive. So your answer, minus 10 divided by minus 5, is actually just 2. And that's your answer. So we have x is equal to 2. So when we're dealing with negative coefficient, what's important to remember is the rules when it comes to multiplication. So when you divide or times a negative number by a negative number, you actually get a positive number. but if you times a negative number by a positive number or the other way around, you'll get a negative number. So those are the rules you have to remember, but the rest of it is just the same as we've done beforehand.